Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? You've got the degree, you climb the corporate ladder, you have a high-paying job, but somehow you're still just running in place financially? Well, you are not alone. Today, we're going to dive into the huge difference between having a high income and building true, lasting wealth. Just think about it for a second. That great salary, it gives you a comfortable life, sure, but does it give you freedom? For so many professionals, it's more like a set of golden handcuffs. It looks great, but it keeps you tied to a system where you work for money instead of having your money work for you. And this was the exact reality for Dr. Wesley, a super successful corporate finance director. I mean, this guy had all the markers of success: a top job, an executive MBA, tons of certifications. But his wife saw something he just couldn't see. And that one little comment, well, it launched him on a journey to figure out the real rules of building wealth. So here's the core idea he discovered. Money is a game. But the hard truth is, most of us are losing, and we don't even realize we're playing. We work our entire lives but never actually manage to win. So why is that? It's not because people aren't smart, and it's definitely not because they don't work hard enough. It's because the most important rules of the money game, well, they're kind of a secret. They're not taught in school, they're not taught in the corporate world. To win, you need a completely different kind of knowledge. So, what are these hidden rules? Dr. Wesley found that there are three fundamental principles the wealthy use that most high-income earners completely miss. Okay, so rule number one is secrecy. This knowledge isn't just out there for everyone. Number two, team. This is a big one. You can earn a high income all by yourself. But wealth is a team sport. It's built by leveraging other people's time, their talent, and their money. And third, measurement. Come on, you can't win a game if you don't know the score. And in the money game, your net worth is the score. So, knowing the rules is one thing, but winning? That's something else entirely. To really win, you have to make four very specific, very deliberate transitions in your financial life. Let's break them down. This is basically the roadmap from being a high-income employee to a true wealth builder. It's a path that runs through these four key shifts: your mindset, your assets, the quadrants you operate in, and your financial structure. Now, the first and honestly the hardest transition is your mindset. We're all trained to believe that academic success and corporate success mean financial success. But the wealth mindset? It requires a pretty big dose of humility. You have to accept that even with your PhD or your fancy title, you might be what's called a financial illiterate. You have to be willing to unlearn some things and invest in a completely new kind of education. The second big shift is in your assets. See, as an employee, you are the asset. Your time and your skills are what generate income. But that asset, you, gets older and eventually retires. The real goal is to switch from being the asset to owning the assets, things that make money for you whether you're working, sleeping, or on a beach somewhere. And historically, real wealth is created in one of these four asset classes. We're talking about a well-run business, not just a small shop, income-producing real estate, commodities like oil or food, or paper assets like stocks and bonds. You have to start moving your active income into one of these buckets. Okay, now let's talk about something most people see as their ultimate goal, the pension. But before we do, I want you to look at this definition of palliative care. Care that's designed to make you comfortable, not to cure you. Wow. Pension is palliative. Let that sink in for a second. A pension is basically palliative care for your finances. It's designed to make you comfortable as your main asset. Your ability to work starts to fade away. It was never designed to make you wealthy. And that right there is why shifting to owning other assets is so incredibly important. The last two transitions, quadrant and structure, are all about how your money actually flows. As an employee, your formula is simple: income, then you pay tax, and then you get to spend whatever's left. But as a business owner or investor, the formula flips completely. You have income, you spend or reinvest it, and then you pay tax on what's left over. That is a massive game-changing structural advantage. So once you've made these transitions, the goal itself starts to change. It's not just about building your own wealth anymore, it's about building a legacy. It's about making sure that wealth lasts, so future generations don't have to start all over again from scratch. But there's a major challenge here. Just like in physics, wealth is subject to something called entropy. It has a natural tendency to just fall apart and disappear once the person who created it, the one with all the drive and the knowledge, is no longer around. 85%. Think about that number. Research shows that a staggering 85% of people who inherit wealth lose it all. Why? Because the money was passed down, but the knowledge, the mindset, and the values that created it were not. The wealth just hits entropy, and poof, it's gone. So how do you fight entropy? Well, you do it by transferring 5 capitals, not just one. You have to pass on human capital, making sure everyone feels valued. Spiritual capital, which is your core family values. Intellectual capital, the specific knowledge of how the wealth was built. Social capital, your network. And only then do you pass on the financial capital. Because without the first 4, that last one is almost guaranteed to disappear. This famous quote from Warren Buffett just sums it all up perfectly, doesn't it? The entire reason for making these transitions, for building assets and owning systems, is to learn how to make money while you sleep. Because that is the only real way to create wealth for you and your family long after you've stopped working. So, here's the bottom line. You now know the secret rules and the 4 big transitions you need to make to win the money game. But look, knowledge is only potential power. It's action that creates results. So the only question left is, what's the first step you're going to take?